Okay, now I'm happy with it. There's nothing more really we need to do. That's a really good exercise. So what we're going to do now is the background. Now I've already started, and you'll see I'm doing a lot of it already, but I'm going to use, up here, I'm going to use 230. I know I'm not, got it wrong, didn't I, straight away? Actually that was a happy accident. I think I will. I've got 230 here. My original intention would have it light at the top and dark at the bottom. I've changed my mind. So what I want there is it 230 to there, 230 on the top, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it dark on the top, and then the ivory in the middle. Here we can let me do that, because I've got to fiddle around here with that. But that's what I'm going to do. So it's that was at the bottom here to start with, and then I put the greens on, which we'll put more on. But up here, I was going to put ivory, but I've changed my mind. I've now, to a happy accident, put the 230 instead, which means we're going to have a darker top. Really interesting, this. So anyway, let me get on with that, finish it off, and then you can come back and I'll show you how we're actually going to finish this whole picture off. Won't be long now. I've filled all that in now, and I've used my finger to rub this in here, but obviously when you're close to the image, like for instance there, where I touched it, I have to turn it round to do that. You can get away with the odd bit, but really you've got to be really careful. So I've done this off camera, but that's now rubbed well in. I'd already done a lot of this as I went along, but that is okay now. You'd have to go over the lines again, I suggest with a very sharp black, which I shall show you a little bit, but that's what you need to do. Now, having done that, it looks good, doesn't it? But we need to put some strength in. I'm going to use the colours we use down here, which is the green, so we put some of that in. And you don't have to be too fussy now. We've got the colour. I really like the colour that is the general colour, that's the light ivory and grey. So what I'm going to do is going to put some of this in. We don't want a halo around it, so you want to go into the subject. I'm going to leave that a little bit there. I'm going to leave it a little bit under the pot where the lid. Go around there. Leave that bit. A little bit into here, and I'm going to pick up on the other side of the pot, but I still want light coming through there. And that's good. Okay. And the corners is good. Now the ochre, which is 185, we can put that on too. Pick your spots again. Got to put it down here because we've put quite a lot of that green in here and here. So we've got to put that in there. This is quite a rich colour, so you don't want to go too silly with it. Don't press too hard, otherwise. That looks good. I'm going to put just a little touch of white in here. You could use polychromos, in fact I probably will. Just put a little bit of white in. And just put some little bit of light into their proceedings. Okay, probably be enough. Okay. Now what else can we do? Well, what else have we got? What we've got, we've used the green. What I'm going to be inclined, I'm going to try this out. This is the green 267, which I used to go over the top of the 13172 on the plot. I'm just going to put a bit of that in. Not too much, just a little. And I've got a feeling I'm not going to put any more the green in it. But what I'm going to do is use the ochre here, which is the 182, to go on the other side. I just think it would be nice to add a little variation on the theme. Let's see, and put maybe a little bit in there as well, just a touch. Now, what would that look like when we rub it? Well, we'll find out, won't we? Rub your finger and put the colour in. Now once again, you'll only get as far as there with your finger, because you'll need to really go in with your colour shaper then and blend that out. Okay, so I'll do all of that, and when you see it again, it'll all look like this basically. I'm going to go all around that edge, blending it all in, and then we look at it again and saying, well, what do we think? What do we need to put in more? But we put the two base colours in. That's the important thing. I'll just do this bit so that you see it finished. That half anyway. That half is finished and it looks stunning, doesn't it? So look at it the other way up. It's nice, isn't it? But it still needs a bit more strength. So I'll do that later, but I'm going to put some more strength here. This time, a slight variation. And in fact, I'll put some of that 182 in as well, I think. Just there. Now when you blend this, you don't blend it quite so much. So what you're left with, can you see, is a stronger colour. Look at the difference between those two. Anyway, now I may even elect to think, well, do I want any more? What I'll do is I'll bring my polychromos in. But you could use pastel pencils. They're the same as pastel pencils. But really with greens you get just a little bit more strength. Let me show you what I mean. Maybe a little. This colour's nice because we've already put it into the strawberries leaves. So those are those two, and that would be an easier one to use than the big one. So this is a green, slightly different green to the green we've used before, but that's nice. And this brown, now this is the brown we use, the 182, so you can use the pencil 182. I'm going to put a little bit of brown in as well. I want to keep the light over the strawberries. But that's how I'll do it now. What I'll do then is just blend it very carefully. You've got to push it into the paper, which it will do because you've got the terrific colour underneath. Now that's green, that's nice. So what I might do now, you've seen me do that, I might do the rest of the pot in the same way. And then what we've got is an ivory pencil and a white. Let me show you what we can do with those. I'll turn it up the other way, like this, because it's, I don't have that fear of smudging. And then I can bring the ivory from here, from that pot, well, that spout, and it can come out like that. Put it on the other side. So it sort of goes in one side and comes out the other. I like the idea of a little bit more strength against that pot, because what we could do then is we can use a little bit of white here. You see that? Anyway, I'll do a little bit more of that off camera, and then when you blend this one, this really looks quite something else. Now that's lovely. What do we think of that? Oh gosh, that's nice, isn't it? Okay, well let me do over here what I've just done over here. You've seen me do over here, and then we'll look at it again. I love the idea of having this weave of colour, and I might in fact expand that with some white. Let me just do it. I get so enthusiastic when I get to this stage, folks, that I can't just leave it alone. Almost got to finish it. But let me show you what that actually looked like before I rubbed, and then we very carefully blend that into, so we get like a really attractive area like that. Isn't that lovely? Oh yes, Colin. You see, you've got to resist the temptation to put anything like this in. That would kill it if you put it up there. But that is nice. And the other thing we can do here, once we've got that, we can then put some of this colour into there. I'll just show you what I mean. Because we've got the background colour, we can just put a little bit. But this is the colour I've used here, look, which is 104. We can put a little bit of that into the pot. So it's picked up Lovely. And we can just do the same here. Anyway, that's the finishing touches job. But let me just do that first. Now there we are, there's the finished picture. But what we're going to do is just run around the edges now. I'm using a very sharp black, and that will give me the crispness that I need on that edge. I've already gone around that spout. Now just there where you've got, that's a difficult area, you don't want to put black in, so I'm just putting a bit of grey in there. And then we just move it round slightly. This has to be very, very, very thin line, just almost just about touching the paper, because it doesn't want to be black coming up there. But then when we get to there, we can be a little bolder. Put the black up in that corner. The combination of the two. Now here, I'm just going to just tickle a little black on, but not much. I've already done that, so I'm going to leave that alone. This is just a little more. Don't need to do too much more to this. That's good. Just on the edge. It's best to go this way round so that you have a natural arc of your hand. There's got a little bit of the problem with that, and I think we need a little bit more light just picking up there, and a little bit more light picking up there. There's the contrast there between those two are good. A little bit extra strength there. Anyway, look, you've seen me do this, so there's no point in me going on and on doing the same old thing. It's boring. I'll just go down there with it. And just down here. And then I'll go all around here off camera. But I think that looks pretty stunning, doesn't it? Good. Well, there we are. I've just got that bit to finish, but I will do that off camera. Well, I'm really pleased with that, and I hope you would enjoy doing that. It's a doable picture now, and I'm sorry about the mess up a little bit. I really didn't think it was going to be that tricky when it got down to with this cloth, but it was too mucky, and I thought, let's have a nice, easy, sharp, sensible finish to it, and I think we've got that. I'm chuffed with that. Hope you are.